So this is what SNU looks like at night. Okay. So in case if ever you have, we will be having more sessions of this type on different aspects later on when we get back in physical mode. Okay. So everything has been told about the university. All these details have been discussed. Like we have 2,200 students, then 30 plus
Vinita,
sports.
sorry to disturb you. Can you please make it full screen so that only the slide is available? Some of the participants have been asking.
Okay. Full screen means slide mode.
Yep.
This way. Okay. Fine. So I think all the participants can see it. There's nothing which has been missed. All our senior leaders have already discussed. Vivek Banerjee sir told about the research center.
Ma'am, I'm sorry to say, now it's fine.
It's fine. I'm again requesting all of you, please mute your mic because right now I don't think we need to interact. I'll be just briefing you about the sessions, coming up sessions. Okay. So you can mute your mic kindly. So our university has a 286 acre campus and 6 research centers with 24 rocking departments where a lot of research goes on, and more than 200 faculty members, 40 plus program offers, and more in the offing to come. Now coming back to even I'm a teacher, you all are also faculties. The multifaceted role of a teacher, this is all the role which we actually take up as we step into the domain of teaching. So the continuous personal and professional development is your key to the future, and probably that's the reason why you have taken up to the FDP courses. Now relating to the innovation management and intellectual property together, I connected with the Vaishvik Bharatiya Vaigyanik Summit. I'm sure a lot of you have heard about it. It just got flagged off on October 2nd by our PM Narendra Modi ji. So what was the basic idea was to be a global researcher and to collaborate more across the nations. This is what, so when you need to collaborate, that needs to have a lot of innovation from your side. And to be innovative and to protect your innovation, IPR comes in a big way. So that is why in this session, we will try to connect all the different types of IP, not only patent, because whenever we talk about innovation, we think it is all patent. It's not that. Now trademarks, copyrights, they are also becoming tools for innovation. And you will see they're very less explored areas, but there will be sessions. Even I'll be discussing how you can incorporate innovation from trademarks and from copyrights. Patent, everybody knows, it's a classic proxy of innovation. So I say this program is at the confluence of two themes: technology management and innovation management. Under the thrust area of management, and the major motivation to take up this program was some of the objectives which were set in the national IPR policy. That is to have IB teaching as an elective course in management, to spread awareness, which can be thought of as capacity building in IPR, to training and hands-on session. Means after doing this FDP, some of you who wish to, you can start a course on IP, although in a very elementary form, or you can build capacity by organizing workshops and seminars on IP and innovation. Now, this is just a general overview because maybe as an individual, you're not aware who are the people who are participating in this. I think I should have showed this to the our leaders, but I didn't show. Doesn't matter. So here you can see there's the number: assistant professor 28, associate professor 34, and professors 28. Then there are also non-faculty members, which could be from the corporates, which could be from non-corporate areas, which could be from the research scholar areas and all. Now, if you look at the area of study, I saw that finance, marketing, communication, commerce, it emerged in a big way. So now the application are also pointers as which area of IP is actually gaining momentum. So those who are pursuing finance, you will see IP valuation. Somebody talked about IP valuation, isn't it? So IP valuation is coming up in a big way in the area of finance. So we have a special session on IP valuation. So those who are into finance, they can encash on it. Then zone-wise distribution, we had the major participants from the South. These are the non-faculty participants. These participants can look forward to a career in research, higher studies. After gaining insights in here, you can also plan, the research scholars can plan for a career in PhD, doing doctoral research. So moving on to the next, this is a few pointers which justify the need for such programs. Data from the participants reveal even in the small sample, more than 50% institutes are waking up to adapt to the need to build an IP-friendly ecosystem. A majority of participants wish to learn how to file, read, understand, and search patents. Then a keen interest to apply the concepts of IP management has emerged. Case study discussions are sought for. Structuring of IP policies and regarding future applications of FDP learning course content. These have been, I have taken out from your brainstorming session. Remember, those of you who have filled the Google form. So all these will be covered. I have conveyed it to the speakers. So they'll try to incorporate your interest in their session, if possible. Now, next slide says, the more I learn, the less I know. And I think handling of queries will be done only in the last 15 minutes. So most of the time you'll be muted. And in the last session, when the discussion starts, we will unmute you and then you can have your interaction. You can use the raise your hand facility for this. Cameras can also be off for bandwidth reason. And please attend all the sessions as questions in the exam will be asked from these. Now I am announcing this in this session, but I see that half the participants have not come into the inauguration session, so they'll be missing out these points. So do not, but let's not do it that if I miss it, I'll take it from the recording or I'll take it from the WhatsApp group. That should not be the idea. The idea should be to be right in the session and jot down your queries, questions to ask later on. Okay. Then speakers details may average experience of the speaker who will be coming to address you will be 10 years. They are from diverse fields of law, management, engineering, and economics. Academicians and practitioners both, rich with real life case studies as they actually have done it. Then there are experts from government to private organizations who would help you in developing a mixed perspective. Then discussion on IP research areas would enable you to attract PhD students because most of you are faculties. So you can also attract your PhD students after getting insights into the sessions, which areas are right for research, which are the areas are have the possibilities, where are the barriers, how to overcome the barriers in data collection, and so on. Now, pre-workshop instruction more. I think this is already done, and you already know Ms. Madhvi. She's interacting with you in the WhatsApp group. Then Ms. Jagmeet will be joining tomorrow, and there is there's one student, Ms. Mansi. I don't know where she is currently here or not. Attendance is compulsory for all sessions. At the end of the day today and every morning from tomorrow onwards, I'll be announcing the attendance. And we'll see who's attending and who's not attending. Based on that, you'll be allowed to give the exam. Learning materials will be shared through mails or WhatsApp application group. And there are a few changes to be made. If you can note it, it will be very nice. Of course, I will announce it in the WhatsApp group. There's one change in topic in the 10th session by Mr. Saha. So I will announce the topic. And the link which I have sent is not for 4 days, it is for all 5 days. Just a minute. So I think okay, participants, are you there? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, great. So nice. Everybody is cooperating so well. You have muted your mic or whatsoever. So this is basically for the management of IP rights. I'll deal very much in detail in my session, but this is just for you to, in case you want to read something or if you have any queries, you can bring up in my session. So this is how I addressed IP in my courses in the management. So I take up management of intellectual property in business. This is one course by the name MGT 603. So there we take up a course which addresses all the 4 core areas of marketing. Now, if it is from the HR perspective, we talk about capacity building, training in IP, we do surveys as a part because most of our courses are in the project form, whether it is the UG, specifically in the UG, not exactly in the MBA, but overall it is a research structure. Then in finance, we have discussions and I impart learnings in IP valuation and IP securitization. Now, IP securitization is a very new concept where now IP is being used as a collateral for loans. Because we had already discussed in the beginning that these IP assets are far surpassing the tangible assets like fixed assets like buildings, plants, machinery. So now you can also, companies can take, or the academicians also can use it as a collateral for loan. Now in strategy, specifically, this is designed from management perspective. So it is talking about the firms and the organizations. It can be used IP for competitive advantage, building patent portfolio at the time of mergers and acquisitions, and in marketing for brand building, use of goodwill in business, and brand positioning. Then another course which I take is creativity and innovation. In creativity and innovation, we see how creativity and innovation work together to bring about a good IP. So this case is based on that, and based on the 3 courses, so far 4 to 5 courses, because I'm 2.5-year-old here. So I have floated, these are the MBA courses, new product development and open innovation, management of intellectual property business. So this is exactly what I do. And at every step in all the courses, IP is involved. Let's take the example of new product development and open innovation. I just concluded it this quarter. So in this open innovation, as you understand, it is like exchanging of information from outside. Even if you are a college or an institute or a university, the moment you're collaborating, it becomes open. So when you're collaborating as faculties, there is a lot of sharing of research outcome. So that entails a lot of IP. So this course has a lot of implications for IP and innovation. The management of intellectual property in business has mostly to do the situations and the transactions in the market. So these skills and learnings imparted, they train your students to become either technology transfer experts, IP manager, data analyst, business development manager, or IP consultant. So you can actually design your course after thinking in the long term what practical skills and what job prospects your students are going to gain. So we'll guide you for that. Other applications of IP course management is you can also prepare your students for handling of emerging technologies. Like there's a session on AI and IP, so we'll get to know. Then social media analytics, cyber security, and database management. All these stuff have a lot of IP in it. Now, this is just a brief overview of the first session, which will be taken by the exemplary speaker, the director of IIM Bangalore. You'll be lucky to hear to him. Listen to him, okay? So he will talk because he's almost a management guru of innovation. So he will have a lot of perspectives to share. But I am just giving you a brief generic scope of what we are trying to get across to you. How universities describe innovation and IP in their mission, policies, and strategies. You can incorporate and give input to your institute. When you are making the vision, the policies, and the strategies, There also you need to define or describe innovation and IP. Then what kind of infrastructure have the universities created or they form or they need to support to bring about innovation? What kind of activities and processes have the university and its staff implemented? And what are the historical experiences that indicate how the university has succeeded or not? Like, for example, why does everybody want to go to MIT? Because it is a history. Why does everybody want to go to Caltech? Because it is a history. So that also we trace. Now, how do they educate researchers? I don't know how many of you are sponsored or you are doing on your own. Sometimes, maybe if you're doing this on your own, sometimes the organizations sponsor their faculties for professional enhancement. So that is about how do they educate their researchers? How do they search for value in research? Value in research means, like I'll tell you, here in Srinagar University, in the natural sciences or the basic sciences, most of the research value is sought in the form of filing of patents. Now, in management, it's difficult to file patents and all, except for business methods outside India or certain specific cases in the management section. So what we do is we try to publish. So that way we search value. Whatever our students do research in management, that we try to bring about as original research and publish. So that is also you're adding value in research. Okay, then how do they manage invention disclosures? How do they support the commercialization and protection of research results? Who is the process owner? Is it the university? Is it the faculty? Or is it a sharing between the two for the main processes? And what are the strengths and weaknesses of the current activities, processes, and practices? So with this, I'll leave you. So these questions you can ask in the first session. If you think you have doubts regarding your universities or institutes or colleges, you're free to ask, but you'll have to keep jotting it down in the beginning. And only in the last 10-15 minutes, when we open the floor for discussion, you can share your questions. So I think I'm through. That was just a curtain raiser on the pre-session briefing to you.